In this video, we'll be discussing the Linux commands for manipulating a directory. A directory is like what Windows call folder. Then in Linux terminal, it's called a directory. So we'll talk about how to make a directory, we'll talk about how to list the content of a directory, we'll talk about how to change or navigate within a directory, and then finally how to remove a directory after we've finished working on the directory. To start the process, we would want to talk about the list command. The list command allows you to view the content of a directory. Currently, we're in our home directory represented by the tilde sign, and so when we do a list, we're able to see all of the different directories in our home directory. We have a file called composer.file. We have a directory called files. We have another directory called storage. We have another directory called examinations, and finally a directory called food. We notice the difference between the bold of the directory and then the non-bold of the file name. That's how you distinguish between the file and a directory. To create or to see more content or more details about this content, you can use your ls/l directive, which allows you to see more details, including the date last modified, the size of the file or the size of the directory, who owns the directory, and what rights you have what permissions you have on each of the file and directory. Yet it doesn't show you hidden files, because there are hidden files and directories inside of this my home directory. To see my hidden directories, I do an ls/or -a, which gives me all of the content in my home directory, including the hidden directories. So we can see here we have several hidden directories, and then the visible directories are 4, whereas we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hidden directories. So the -a directive allows you to see all of the directories and the files in your directory. Let's move on to how to make a directory. To make a directory, we use the Linux command make directory, and with that you can name the directory you want to make. Let's say we want to make a directory called schools inside of our home directory. So when we do an ls, we see that a school subdirectory has been added to our home directory, but the school subdirectory is empty, because if we do a list of the schools directory, it shows us that there is nothing inside of the schools directory. So we want to create a subdirectory inside schools that is called my primary school. So we make directory schools / my primary school. And so when we run our commands again to list schools, we're able to see that a new directory called my primary schools has been listed under schools, or has been created under schools. We can create another directory called my secondary school. And so we list the content of our schools again, and we see that my primary school has been created under schools, my secondary school has been created under schools. We can add a different subject in my primary school. Let's say we want to add a mathematics and then want to add an English in my primary school. So we make a directory schools / my primary school / mathematics. So you have a mathematics subfolder inside of my primary school, and want to do English subfolder inside of my primary school. So we do English, and we have, as far as there are no errors, that means that our command was successfully executed. Now we want to create a subfolder inside of my university called mathematics. So we want to create this same thing that we created for my primary school. We want to create it for a directory that we are going to call my university. The challenge, however, is we have not created any directory called my university. So let's see if the operating system will allow us to create a subdirectory inside of a directory that we've not created before. University, and enter. Can do. No such file or directory. So ideally, first you need to create a my university directory under schools. Then you can now create a mathematics directory under my university. But there's a way you can force Linux to help you create that directory that you had not originally created. To do that, use a directive called p-p to force Linux to create that directory called my university. And so enter. It didn't give us any more errors. And when you do a list of your schools, directory, you're able to see that 3 directories are now present: my primary school, my university, my secondary school. So it has automatically created my university for you, and it has also automatically created the mathematics directory you intended to create under my university. Now let's move on to how to create hidden directories. To make a hidden directory, you put a dot in front of the name. So you do a make directory dot tests. That's the name of the directory you want to create, and so you enter. When you list the directories in this home directory, there is no .test because .test is a hidden file. To see it, you need to list all to see that your .test is directly under the Termux hidden directories too, and the several other directories that originally existed on this home directory. Then finally, we want to talk about how to navigate between directories. Up till now, we've not moved away from our home directory. All of our work has been from the home directory, even though we are working on folders, directories that are outside of my home directory, but we've not left the home directory. Suppose we want to leave the home directory, we want to go to one of the directories we just created. We use cd to change into one of the directories we just created, schools/my primary school. And so we've entered schools and we've entered my primary school. And when we list the content of that, we're able to see English and we're able to see mathematics. Remember, we created these two before now. So let's say, for example, we want to navigate back to schools. So we do cd space ... to go back one step. And so when you list, you're able to see my primary school, my university, and my secondary schools as folders within the schools, or directories within the schools subdirectory. Now let's say we want to again navigate to English in my primary school. So we do cd English cd my primary school English. And so we are inside of the school subdirectory in my home page, my primary school subdirectory under schools, and then the English subdirectory under my primary schools. That is where we are. Let's say, for example, we want to navigate to my secondary school subdirectory. We can do a CD. Instead of going back one step and going back another step and then going into my secondary school, we can go directly to my secondary school by using the home sign slash the name of the folder we want to get into, schools, or the directory we want to get into. Sorry, I keep interchanging folder and directory. They're the same thing, but Linux uses directory instead of folder. So this time around, I want to navigate to my secondary school. My secondary school. So without having to navigate one step backward, another step backward, and then eventually entering into my secondary school directory, I've gone directly to my secondary school directory because I changed the directory and I gave it the full path to the directory that I want to go into. So if you want to go back to your home directory, use your CD, then tilde, which is this. That's what it's called. That tilde is navigates you to the home page or represents the home page, and you can see it in the command that we used before now. CD, enter, and so we are back to the home directory where we all started from. And so that is how to navigate between directories, and we've looked at how to create directories, and we've looked at how to list directories. To delete directories, we would use the remove command, rm. So let's say we want to remove my university directory. We are currently in the home directory because, again, ls shows us our subdirectories. Here we are on the home directory. We want to remove my university subdirectory inside of the schools directory, and so we do remove recursive. This R is recursive, allows to delete directories. Remove recursive, and then the subdirectories inside of those directories. Remove recursive schools slash my university. So this deletes my university subfolder. So when you list your schools, you no longer are able to see my university subdirectory. So we've considered how to make directories, we've considered how to list directories, we've considered how to navigate between directories, and now we've considered how to delete directories. Thank you very much. Watch out for the next video, which is going to teach you about how to manipulate files on a terminal. Thank you.